So here we have the HTC One S for T-Mobile, HTC's latest smartphone for that carrier. And I just got the box right here. I've actually already been using the phone for over a month now. And this is the silver one with that blue lens. Of course, the MAO, the micro arc oxidation versions have been taken away from sales because of the chipping issue that the micro arc oxidation backing has been having. But anyway, figured I'd show you the box first, because this is the retail box you get when you order it from T-Mobile. A couple of all the specs there, but we'll talk about those as we're working with the phone. Sort of do a little bit of an unboxing. Since we already took the phone out, we don't need to look at this part. Inside the top, we'll just put that down for a moment. These are where your guides are kept. You've got items like your starting guide and your terms and conditions, return policy and warranty information in there. Plus a little T-Mobile slip, probably for product registration. And the only other two things you find is the HTC branded AC to USB power adapter and a USB micro cable. And that's all that you find in the box besides the phone. So we can get to the phone real quick here. Put this box all back together. And now we get on to the One S itself. Now, talking about the specs as I mentioned before, it has a Qualcomm S4 Snapdragon dual-core CPU operating at 1.5 gigahertz per core, 1 gigabyte of RAM, 16 gigabytes of onboard memory, and we'll get a little bit later into some things you need to know about that, including the battery. It's a 1650 milliamp hour battery on board. Wi-Fi calling capability is included on this. This is an 8 megapixel rear facing digital camera with LED flash. It's able to do 1080p video at 60 frames per second. It's pretty good. You also are able to do slow motion video as well. What else do we have of importance here? Like the other One S line, this has Beats audio integrated into it, so when you use headphones through that 3.5mm headphone jack there, you can get some superior sound quality. Of course, it also has Android for Ice Cream Sandwich, and HTC has their 4.0 Sense UI interface over top of it. A couple of other things here and there. It's also got support for DLNA, so you can actually use a adapter to output HDMI video to your high definition television with an adapter with that micro USB port. And that's really all there is on the specs. I'll talk about a little more with the device. Like I say, the camera is right here. There's your flash. You have this 4.3 inch QHD display, and it is a Super AMOLED. So, very nice. You got only 3 buttons down here: your back, home, and recent programs. Your speakers right there. Like I say, your headphone jack is there. Your power button's here. And behind this panel, you can unclip it. Now, these are where your Wi-Fi antennas are. Your Wi-Fi antennas are located here. This is where your micro SIM card goes. Takes a micro SIM, but as you will note, there is no place to put a micro SD card, nor is the back of this removable to have a user changeable battery. Put this back on here. So, you can't replace the battery in this, and you can't expand its memory with a micro SD. Now, what HTC has done for their customers with this device is they give you 23 gigabytes of additional Dropbox storage. And Dropbox is basically an online storage solution that you can access from anywhere. So you get your 2 gigabytes free when you sign up for Dropbox, and then you do at least 3 things with Dropbox, like, you know, setting it up with multiple computers, getting it started with your device, maybe asking people to join Dropbox, you know, basically things they want you to do so you can kind of earn that extra storage space. But it'll pay off once you do it. It's very simple. You know, all I had to do was activate it on one computer at least, and, you know, take the Dropbox virtual tour. That's the 3 things I did. And when you do all that, you'll get 25 gigs of storage, and it will automatically, if you configure it, to upload any photos and high definition video, take automatically to Dropbox. And even if you delete it on the device, it'll stay in the Dropbox servers. So it's one efficient way to keep the space on your phone free, since photos and video that people take is generally what uses the most space up, instead of your apps. Even though music, you can put music on Dropbox and sort of stream it from there if you want to as well. So anyway, that's the deal with internal storage and battery life. Now, if you want to increase the battery life of this, there is an accessory out there for that you can kind of slip over that will also give you some protection. It's the Xpal Powerskin, and I did a separate video of the unboxing for this. Basically, it's kind of a silicone case slash battery integrated into one. It just slips over the case. There's your micro USB plug that goes into that side port there. You just press this button on the back here, and that turns on the output of the battery, along with being able to check the status of it. Doesn't hinder the camera at all. I just hold this button to turn it off, and it just is able to both charge and still use your tethering connection through the little micro USB port on the side. So if you want to extend the battery life by about twice what it is, because this is about an 1800 milliamp battery here, this is one way to go. Well, actually, no, this is 1500 mils, but still it's roughly the same as this, so it'll double your battery life. Anyway, let's turn on the phone and get into it a little bit here. And we've got a couple of statuses. Open the ring here. Check that thing. There we go. Now with Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, it does use the face unlock feature, so you're able to use this front webcam, which is about 1.3 to 2 megapixels, and it will detect your face and automatically unlock the device for you. If not, you can use a type of pattern or some kind of password or whatever else secondary method you want to set up. And here it is. We've got HTC Sense 4.0 UI running over top of the phone here, and HTC provides some of their live wallpapers on here. This is actually one of them right here, and this integrates with their weather application from AccuWeather. What it does is this weather-based live wallpaper actually changes depending on the current weather conditions where the phone is, since the weather updates at a certain interval, and also it keeps track of where you are based with GPS. It'll give you the active weather on your device, and your live wallpaper will reflect that. So it'll be showing sunny, or it'll be showing stormy, or nighttime like it is now. Basically, this means it's clear out there right now, because you can see the moon. If it was cloudy or something, you would actually see some occlusion on there. It's a pretty neat little wallpaper. Anyway, everyone knows with an HTC device, you got this famous clock widget that always appears on the home screen. We pull down our menu, and there's our indication of Wi-Fi calling. It says it's ready. So when you're connected up to Wi-Fi, you can actually use the Wi-Fi connection to initiate calls and not use your anytime minutes or anything else like that up on T-Mobile. So it actually has a separate thing for Wi-Fi minutes, which is unlimited, so, which is a nice feature, so it keeps you from using your anytime minutes. Now, a little note about this: a lot of people have been having trouble with Wi-Fi calling, and I was having trouble with Wi-Fi calling as well. But I think part of the reason I was having trouble was actually because of these Wi-Fi antennas on this removable cover back here. I have a habit of holding my phone like this, and as you see, my hand is in the way of those antennas. And I can tell you, radio frequency transmissions don't go well through human flesh. So I found that when I hold the phone kind of down here, away from those antennas, it doesn't block the Wi-Fi signal. Now the Wi-Fi signal is up in the corner right here. It's full right now. I'm actually going to put my hand over that and see if I can completely dead the Wi-Fi signal. As you see, the Wi-Fi signal has dropped. Not completely gone, but it is inhibiting the Wi-Fi signal to the device. And I can guarantee you, it's gone to 0 when I've held my hand over that. So that's a little something to note. This phone does have a death grip, but that's with the Wi-Fi connection. I haven't noticed that with the overall wide area network connection that uses the actual network. And that also, some default applications that are on here is it has Lookout Mobile Security, so you can remotely back up the device's contacts and other information, do virus scanning, and also do a remote search for the device. You can also make it scream if you need to find it somewhere. That's pretty handy. We also have some of T-Mobile's default apps. I don't know how well they're going to show up on the camera there. Well, we have the T-Mobile Mall. We've got, More For Me, which is kind of like additional items. You got T-Mobile's 411 service, and a couple of other things like that. Of course, it's also outfitted with Google standard apps like Google Play, Google Music, Maps. Basically, your standard Android applications on most devices. And let's see, well, HTC does include their own little flashlight application. As you can see, I just turned it off. Once I actually get back to it, hitting all kinds of different buttons on here. And touchscreen response is pretty good. I haven't really noticed any problem with it. And the Qualcomm S4 Snapdragon processor handles my task very well. I mean, most single core devices and some others have really bad performance with a lot of the background applications I have running on Android. And this has been pretty good with it. There's also the speed test application. We'll go back to that here in a moment. Go back to this flashlight app. There's a little virtual flashlight app. You can see the LEDs on it. It's got 3 levels of intensity. That's low. Let's see if I can find its button. Okay, I don't know why it turned off. We got low, we got medium, we got high. And then we can turn it off. Standard flashlight feature. Now let's see, we'll do a speed test on Wi-Fi to show you the Wi-Fi connection speed, and then we'll do it on the 4G T-Mobile network and show you the comparison there. We'll find a speed test application. Now I measure it in kilobits or kilobytes per second. I don't really like doing it in megabits per second or stuff like that, because kilobytes is what I like to use, because that's what you always see at the rate when you download something. So I kind of use that as a reference. So let's begin our test. Now remember, this is on the Wi-Fi. Bring that ping up. It's averaging about 2,700 kilobytes per second download rate. Let's see what the upload is. Upload is 800 kilobytes per second, so really speedy download speeds and not bad upload rates either on Wi-Fi. Now we're going to exit out of the speed test and we're going to turn off Wi-Fi and repeat that on the 4G connection. Also, if your plan supports USB tethering or Wi-Fi hotspot, you can also enable the Wi-Fi hotspot on this and be able to share your internet connection up to at least 5 devices. Well, at most 5 devices. Just did that out, it's working. Got 4G, got some signal here. Not exactly that great though on the signal at the moment. It's kind of off to the side here, but Should be enough to still do a test. Alright, test is up there. Let's restart the test and do this again. Now this is on the 4G connection, and it's very close to the Wi-Fi connection here. Not as fast, especially on the upload side. Download is about 200 to 400 kilobytes per second off of that one. Let's see, 1,850 kilobytes per second approximately on the download side, and 237.9 kilobytes per second on the upload side. So even with the 4G speed, that's not bad. Let's see, what other things of significance are on here? And Wi-Fi back on. Now, battery life on this, depending on your use, should be pretty good. Now, the battery with that Powerskin especially, this HTC by itself, without the Powerskin, I'd say it goes about a day. But that's, like I say, there's a lot of stuff that runs in the background, and leaving your Wi-Fi calling on is a pretty good battery drain. So you have to be wary of that. If you want to conserve battery, just turn the Wi-Fi calling off. Anything else is significant in here that should go into the phone? Not really that I see. Apps here, apps there. Yada yada yada. No, I think we pretty much covered all we can with the One S. And the One S has done very good for me. I haven't really had any real trouble with it, except for that Wi-Fi calling initially, till I realized that my hand covering these antennas was blocking the Wi-Fi signal off. But other than that, I think that pretty much wraps it up here. And again, this is the HTC One S for T-Mobile. And again, this is our box with all the accessories, and also, like I say, if you want to increase the battery life in it, you might consider getting one of these Xpal Powerskins for the HTC One S. This ran about $60 when I got it, and I think it's pretty much worth it. And plus, it doubles as a silicone case around your HTC to prevent it from getting dinged up like I did at one point here. So, gives you extra battery life and gives you some protection. But again, this is the HTC One S for T-Mobile.